hey everybody, welcome to the Instagood Show. I'm Seth, really glad to be here with you today in the Church Communications Facebook group. If you have questions or comments or anything that you want to talk through while we're talking here, feel free to comment below. I'll do my best to monitor those and answer those here in real time. But today I wanted to talk about content marketing and really particularly common ground when it comes to Instagram. I know that a lot of us struggle to get engagement on Instagram or on Facebook even to get our people to talk, to get them to talk to us. And, it is one of those things that we constantly are trying to figure out. Social media is a sandbox. You've got to play, you got to figure things out. And then once you do figure things out, wait a week and it's probably wrong. Who knows? I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. And it's one of the frustrating things about working in social media. One of the things I've been reading a book, or I read a book not long ago called A Winner's Guide to Negotiating, How Conversation Gets Deals Done. It's by Molly Fletcher, and I read it on Audible. She actually read her own book. She's got a great voice. It's really great. But she is a big time, like Major League Baseball, college baseball agent for a lot of these high profile heavy hitting personality types that get to that level. And she negotiates some $1 million in deals every day, just about. So fascinating book, really interesting. And why that's important is because I think that social media just is like relationships. And if we're going to be relationally social, it is a series of negotiations. It's just a series of negotiations in your relationship each time you interact with someone. And so she had 4 steps. I want to tell you what they are for a successful negotiation each time. And then I'm going to focus on the one of them. Number 1, set the stage. She talked about making an environment that's easy to negotiate and talk through for whoever you're negotiating with. Whether that is and this is not like Michael Scott's Wikipedia list of how to negotiate a deal. This is definitely like real stuff. So you set the stage is one of them, which is where do you sit? Where do you, how do you talk? What words do you use? Where do you meet? All that sort of thing. And then 2, find common ground. So this is the part we're going to talk about today, because if you don't do this, the rest of it doesn't work. You can easily set the stage, which is social media, usually Instagram in this particular case. But if we don't find the common ground first, then the rest of it doesn't really work. And then she says, number 3, ask with confidence. And then 4, embrace the pause. There's 5. And then know when to leave is number 5. So set the stage, find common ground, ask with confidence, embrace the pause, which is an interesting chapter of the book. And 5, know when to leave. So these are all really important when we're thinking about negotiating the online relationships with our people through content, through comments sections, through DMs, as we negotiate the relationships we have, because social media relationships, they are a series of little small micro negotiations, and they all deal with one of these stages. I thought that was really fascinating. And, I wanted to talk a little bit about that and what that means for churches, and then show you some posts that churches out there are doing that are actually really, really good, and, that are really focused on this finding common ground. So first of all, why find common ground? Whenever you sit down to talk to someone, you know that you've got this, hey, how you doing kind of section that happens first, right? Especially if you're trying to get them to do something for you. You don't want to just walk in and go, hey, I need this from you. And a lot of times that's what our social media looks like on Facebook and Instagram. It's that the first time we talk to them today is, hey, we need volunteers, or it's we need you to give, or we need something from you, essentially. Whether that is in the form of an announcement that we need you to attend, or there is a event coming up we need you to sign up for, or there is a service that we need you to come to, or log in and view online, whatever it is, you're asking them for something at stage 3. You're skipping stage 2, which is find the common ground. You've already set the stage. It's social media, it's Instagram, but then you skip completely over the find the common ground and then jump right into ask with confidence. And if you miss that second step of the negotiation, you lose the negotiation almost every time. That was her point in the book. And when we look at that for social media and how this works in Instagram, it's the same thing. And it's why we always talk about these different types of posts. Now, you can't do all of that with every single post, right? You need a mix of those things. So one of your posts might be about finding common ground, but another post might be about asking for something. When you can really work some serious magic is that if you can find a post that does both of those things in the correct order. And I think that when we say only 20% of the time you should be asking for things, that's true if that post is only asking for things. If you have a post that tells a story and finds the common ground, you can ask for anything you want in that same post. And it doesn't feel like you're asking. You're giving them the why along with that common ground. So it's really important to try to spin that into your strategy for Instagram content creation, is think about why should they care? In other words, what's in it for them is part of that. Let's find the common ground with them, why they're going to like this or care about this. And I'll just tell you this, that from 20 years of experience, because they should, because they're a Christian, because they go to our church and they should care, are not reasons they'll care about what you post. They are not. You have to find something else. It's just not enough. That will work for your absolutely dedicated, almost crazy core people that love your church no matter what you do. You could go and like slaughter a bull on stage and they would go, that was the best bull slaughtering I've ever seen. So those types of people, you don't have to work hard to impress them. But they're very small. That's a very small group. The rest of your people, you really do have to work to find that common ground. So I want to show you some posts. I'm going to share my screen and we'll talk through some of these things as to why they work and why they're good. And the first one is from Church 1132. It's great. I'm going to put my headphones in so I can hear this real quick. It's a video. So I want to make sure that it's not crazy. Right. Here we go. So this is from Church 1132. I'm going to turn the sound on. See what it says. This is obviously from, they made this, I think, from Reels on Instagram and then posted it to their page. This is Church 1132. They are, I believe they are here in DFW area, but let's see. Frisco, Texas. Heck yeah. This is right next to my backyard. I'm in Frisco pretty much. I mean, if I tell you where I live, you'd not find it on a map. So you don't want to miss, I hate that phrase. I got to say, I hate that phrase, but you don't want to miss our Candyland drive-through this Saturday. They just went straight for the ask. So here's the deal. The content is the common ground. There's a guy dressed up as an alien in a suit, dumping candy on his face, obviously riding either a skateboard or some kind of hoverboard, something. You can't tell. But this, I mean, honestly, creative, not hard, weird, but fun, right? This is fun. Yeah, James Cox says that's funny. It is funny. It's funny for a church to post this. Don't notice that there's not a graphic here saying it's going to be at a certain time and here's what you're going to get. That's in the caption. But the content is the common ground. Is that Halloween is coming. And whether your church wants to call it Halloween, that's what your people are calling it. So they're going to go trick-or-treating if they can. I know it's COVID and it's all crazy and we don't know what's really going to happen. But the point is that the common ground is there's a huge community event coming up this week. And whether your church is doing something or not, your people are trying to do something. And here you have an event that you're going to do, a Candyland drive-through. I imagine it's a drive-through trick-or-treat kind of thing. If you saw my talk at the church marketing conference recently, I talked about the month of October and how to plan for this entire month. Now, obviously, it was super late to get to all this year, but for next year, you got to plan. And one of the options was this drive-through trick-or-treat candy thing, and here's this church doing it, right? So they even say like kind of creepy. Here's some of the comments. 100%. Lots of emojis. Yes. Wow. People love this kind of stuff. They'll respond to this kind of stuff. And what happens when they do that? Not only does it push it to other people and the algorithm goes to work, but you get this content here Share our Fleetwood Mac challenge to your stories before Saturday, and you'll be automatically entered into a giveaway for a $50 Amazon gift card. That is the next level of marketing. Here is a challenge. They made a hashtag for it. They turned it into something fun. That the fun part is the sharing part. So who knows how many times this has been put on someone's story. And it's easy to do because all you do is click this little button right here and it will automatically share that to your story. Perfect. Well done. Notice what they didn't give you. They didn't give you the time of the Candyland drive-thru. They didn't give you the date of the Candyland drive-thru. None of that logistical information. They didn't ask you to volunteer. But this is going to drive traffic and it's going to spark interest. So I would say you might need a link. It might be in their link in bio or something like that. But this is definitely going to raise awareness about their event. And your people are going to have that information. So when people go, what is this? I want to do this. I want to go to this. They'll know the info. The people are the info card. Right? The people that share it are now your info section. They know where to find it on your website. They know how to help the people that want to go. So that's what they're relying on. I wouldn't rely just on that, but that's a pretty good post, honestly. I mean, no posts are perfect, but that one's pretty good. So here's another one. This is a church from Oasis Church. They're in Florida. And actually, this is a church that our church comm team, the company I run, we do remote communications support for churches. Churchcommteam.com if you want to check it out. But we posted this because there was a news story done about a nurse that was helping that delivered a baby for a woman who she delivered when she was a baby. So and she goes to their church. So they posted this story and it was so fast and we couldn't really get a good screenshot. We took a screenshot of the story and posted it. That's why it looks like it does. It's not super great. But, we just posted it 2 days ago. This is the kind of post that involves the community and they're kind of a medium to smaller church. So 35 likes, pretty good for them. We're proud to call Jackie Rayner one of our own here at Oasis. We told the story of how she was delivering the babies, but this is common ground. This is a story where people are dealing with family all the time. And during a time where, everyone is, under quarantine or whatnot, this is a really heartwarming story to see that hope and love is still out there and our people are part of it. So this is common ground where people want to see this kind of stuff. This is exciting. That's really cool. Even if you don't know her, it's cool to know that your church is doing, that your people are doing that and being recognized in the community. So anytime there's a news story on one of your people, especially if there's a news story, clip that. And this is the version, like when I was a kid, when I do things like I played basketball when I was in high school and I was in a small town. So when the paper wrote things about, if I did something good in a game and I got to be in the paper for it, which tells you how small this town was, then I had friends and family sometimes that would clip the article out, cut it out physically and mail it to me. And you put a note like, hey, great job, stuff like that. And, it's kind of, that's this for the digital age. So, all right, let's go to the next one. Gwinnett Church. Another great story. This is a story about a woman at their church named Laurel Simpson, and tells her story about her journey through cancer. Well, right now, health is a big issue, so this is the common ground. And this is a long caption. I mean, it tells the story, man. But so many people, and Gwinnett Church is awesome when it comes to common ground marketing. That's pretty much how they exist. So if you ever want to get a good idea of what to do for common ground marketing, just go look at what Gwinnett Church is doing. They're to me, one of the best examples. So we've got just tons of great feedback on this. Great story. Lots of people right now are dealing with medical. So this is a post that actually has a lot in common with the audience. We care to find out that people can actually beat disease right now. That's the common ground. So this is a great story for that time. Church of the Highlands, also doing something really great. Here's some more common ground. What's happening right now? So they go to this local school early one morning and just start delivering Chick-fil-A biscuits to the teachers and some of their students, I think, just welcoming teachers. So it says, last week a team from our Highlands Montgomery campus and Dream Center arrived at a local school early one morning to welcome teachers with big smiles, free breakfast, and encouragement as they began school with their students in person for the first time since March. So the common ground, I mean, gosh, there's so much happening in the school systems right now. That content is just oozing out of the school system right now. There's so many things you could be doing to create these common ground moments for content on Instagram with your school. So I'll play this so you can see what's going on here.
You have started.
Oh yeah, we got Chick-fil-A biscuits.
Got you.
We got some water for you. So like Chick-fil-A biscuits this morning. We're cheering you on today.
Oh, she's about to cry.
You have started.
She's about to cry. Let's see the next one.
We've brought the best breakfast you can have, Chick-fil-A biscuits. So as teachers come in, we're just going to try to brighten their morning up, start the day off right, give them a Chick-fil-A biscuit, and let them know we're praying for them. So throughout the day, won't you say a prayer for teachers, say a prayer for schools, say a prayer for students, and say a prayers for mom and dad, all right? So here we go. We're going to bless some teachers. Check this out.
Oh, that's so good. Well done, guys. Well done. What's the common ground here that they capitalized on? Well, easily, it's that school's starting and right now sucks. And they want to make sure teachers are appreciated, because I guarantee my parents were both teachers. I wanted to be a teacher. My mother-in-law was a teacher. Let me tell you, I can tell you that the struggle of Texas school districts, where I'm at, and I imagine everywhere else right now, is immense. Teachers are having to figure out a whole new way to teach. It sucks. And so to go in and bless them, gosh, what a good idea. What a great idea. Let's move on to Pearl Street. So these are ones we kind of know. All right, these have common ground because people like coffee, and I know that sometimes now we kind of make fun of this kind of stuff, but this type of thing is okay to post. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that really people have opinions about. And it's opinions that don't result in people, disowning you or calling you a Satanist because you did something. So I definitely wouldn't go, who you voting for? That's kind of stuff. It's just, you're asking for. I saw somebody in a group the other day, posted something that said, I know it's early, but quick question, are Christmas trees sinful to post in churches? And I saw that the comments had already been closed. And I was like, bro, why ask that? Why do that? We're already all so angry. Why post something like that? We didn't have to have that conversation, so ask your buddies or something. Send a text message. But anyway, these kinds of questions can still be really helpful. And they're helpful because it gets your community to talk about things that your community cares about. Now, when you talk about common ground, no pun intended there, common ground, coffee is always common ground, because many churches offer it. Even if all you're offering is some Folgers, instant coffee in a pot over in the corner, which is fine by me, guys. I am not a coffee dude. I don't care. I'm going to put a bunch of sugar and milk and creamer and vanilla flavoring in that anyway. So shut up. But a lot of people really care about their coffee, and they're really intense about it. And they have like a chemistry set at home to properly balance the pH levels in their coffee or whatnot. And so they love to talk about this kind of stuff. It's a craft. It's an art form. I just not one I particularly care about, but many people do. And, thank you, Starbucks, for, making coffee, bougie. But this is a type of post that will really get some interaction. It'll be good. So it's okay to do this. It's okay to ask about pizza toppings and where do you like to eat after church. But what I would do with this is make sure, remember, like I said earlier, if you can find the common ground and then ask something or continue that negotiation in the post, you should. So when you do these kind of posts, I think this might be missing from here. This is just a simple question. I would say, if I added something to this post, I'd say, what's your go-to fall? I don't know why fall is capitalized. Are we supposed to capitalize seasons? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What's your go-to fall coffee order? And then it says type some. Obviously they can't because it's on the feed. This is not a story. I would repost this to a story where you can actually get feedback so you can share those things. So I'd go that next level. I don't know if they did, but I would. And then the second thing I would do is add something in the comments that says like, I would say something like drive it somewhere. Like we have great coffee in the mornings, or post an image and tag us in it with your coffee while you're watching church. Do something more interactive that kind of leads them down a path other than just answer the question. I think that there can be, I love how the first answer here is, what's your favorite to-go coffee order? And they said Diet Dr. Pepper. That's funny. Yeah, I'm kind of in that boat. I'm sorry. I don't know who just said, dude, don't desecrate your coffee like that. Man, whatever. I don't care. It's just, I don't even really like the taste. Not for me, but like, I don't like coffee, but I just have to express that and I'm dying. My Google Chrome is dying. All right. Well, yeah. So we're back. I need a bigger, system memory. I get 8 gigs of RAM, and that's it. This particular MacBook has it soldered together, so I can't actually add memory to this MacBook. Isn't that ridiculous? So, sorry about that. So what I'm saying is, please tell me I'm still here. Okay. So what I'm saying is that we've got these types of posts. I'm not going to be able to go back because it all crashed. These types of what's your favorite coffee type posts, things like that. They're very helpful. Sorry. It's just a day like that. Sorry. This is what happens when you're an entrepreneur and you have no money for good equipment. So anyway, what I was saying, the coffee posts, all those types of things are okay to do. They're really great posts. Keep doing them, but just find ways to add value to that and continue the journey of negotiation. If you just stop with finding the common ground, then you kind of dead stop in the middle of the negotiation. Ask them for something, to go somewhere with them, take them somewhere, even if it is, you're not actually leaving the platform. I'm not saying leave Instagram, but I'm saying, what if you said, what's your favorite coffee to go order? And what does that say about your spiritual life? Or something like that, that adds an element to it that guides them towards your values, towards your vision. It's just that extra little thinking step that we can put into our content, especially if we plan ahead and we schedule things out and we have calendars that will help drive people online, not just to an event or to attend something or to show up or sign up for something, but it drives them to a deeper faith in Jesus through the mission and vision and values that God has laid out for your church. And when you start thinking about Instagram as a ministry tool, then you'll start to think, okay, with this post, we're asking about coffee. We know we have, how can we drive that to a value? What value could I drive that to? It's like connect those dots for people, or else they won't connect the dots. And they're going to wonder why you're asking them about coffee when you're at church, because that's dumb. That's what they're going to think. And when people criticize these types of posts, then that's usually the reason why, is because they don't understand how this connects to your vision. But you can find a way to connect these things to your vision. And sometimes fun, hangout, relationship, community, that's the value. And it's just fun to talk about coffee. Sometimes that's enough. But if you can drive that to something, and I think right now, like for instance, I've got a church that works with me with Church Comm Team, where they're doing this huge Christmas lights, kind of Santaland drive-through, enormous display of lights for Christmas. It's going to go for 4 weeks. And so we're trying to figure out how we can keep incorporating the idea of light, the idea of shining, the idea, not this shining, but shining in the darkness, the light of Christ in Christmas time. We're trying to find ways to incorporate that into a bunch of different types of posts. Like, this is crazy. Okay. This is crazy. Do you prefer soft white light bulbs or daylight light bulbs? And then we drive it to, we're doing a huge light display, or colored lights or all one color lights. Do you like multicolored Christmas lights? Do you think people in our town overdo the decorations? Well, we did too. Here's our big display. come see it. There's all kinds of ways that you can drive conversations that are related to the thing you really want them to do. And that's what common ground marketing is really about. It's finding that common ground so that you can then drive them and lead them to something else that is more important than coffee or pizza or lights or whatever it is you're talking about. But that's what I was trying to get at today. Hopefully that was made clear. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, but for Instagram, it is visual. You have to let your content be the common ground. And if you skip that step and just go for the ask, I think you're going to fail a lot more than you would like to. We have to learn to measure success a little differently on Instagram these days, especially. So hopefully that was helpful. I don't know I think it disconnected me from some of these, from showing who's commenting here in Ecamm. But thanks for being here. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, glad I'm not the only person that happens to. Yep, it happens here a lot, unfortunately, because I run a professional gig all by myself. So anyway, I can't tell who said it, so I'll check out the Facebook link later to say hello. But thanks for watching today on the Insta Good Show. Hopefully you can get Insta Good at Instagram, and please feel free to reach out to me if you ever have questions. I am all ears and opinions. So I'd love to talk to you. Have a good one. I will see you again very soon. Bye.